Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this first Saturday.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year to everybody. In fact, even on my format, I still had it 2018. So that's like those days when I wrote checks. I could never get that right.
Living in the past, Larry.
You people out there don't know what
past.
A check is. It's something to do with a bank. But, hey, that's Dave Gabbert's voice, and Gene Smith has been humming over there.
Good morning.
Haven't recognized the tune.
I didn't know you could see me in my camo.
No, it's South.
It's not urban camo.
Orange hat. So
yeah, there you go.
Gucci fly.
We're going to continue this conversation that we started in the first segment with Chuck Yost, who is the TWRA Chronic Wasting Disease Response Plan Coordinator. We're talking about CWD, and Dave Gabbard has added a lot of information there on that second segment. I wanted to talk to this young man who that's where I take my deer. If I ever kill one, that's where I take it. And I know this year's been terrible for me, but anyway.
It's kind of like
this
fishing,
is where
Larry.
I get my
Got to hold your mouth just right.
Roadkill.
It's that snoring that gets me. No, okay. Scott Stengel from the Stengel Brothers Processing right near Laconia, right out of Somerville. Good morning, Scott.
Morning, Larry.
All right, let's talk about it. We've talked about it with you. You were on early in the year giving us what was going on with the deer. Then all of a sudden, bingo, here comes CWD. I know you're probably like all the rest of us. You got CWD ringing in your ears.
No, it's nonstop. We hear it every customer that comes through the door. We talk about it.
Well, let's talk with you as a deer processor. Now, we had Chuck Yost on earlier, and one of the questions was that when you take your deer, like if I kill one, I'm leaving right after the show today and heading close to your way over on Whiteville, that the closest one for me would be Penner's, you said.
Right.
And once you get that deer taken to, say, if I take a deer this morning to Penner's, they will sample it, right? And then Then
they're going to take the lymph nodes.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about not anything against them, but you don't have to let them process your deer. I want that.
Oh no, you can do. What happens is you have to take it to a processor, or you have to debone it in those counties.
Yeah,
you can't leave those counties with the bone.
Yeah, that's what Dave Gabbard, our co-host, said. And so I wonder how long that take. Well, how long does that take? You know how long it takes to get a deer sampled? Is it easy?
I don't know. I've heard reports that it was quick at some locations, and some locations they were a little bit slow about what they were doing. So I guess it's like everything. The ones who haven't been taking the lymph nodes that long, they'll get faster with it. So I don't think it'll be that big of a problem.
Is that right, Dave? You've been looking at this for a while.
Yeah, it's like anything. The more experience you got, the quicker you can do it.
Get it
and
done.
Some of these and some of these stations they're taking might be a learning process. There might be some wildlife students there, from some of the universities,
or the feds, or whatever it might be.
Well, just learning this process from our guys' experience, that can whack them out pretty quick. But so to make sure they know what they're looking at, and it gives the opportunity, for the hunters to sit around and talk to each other, talk about.
We miss those days, but I know
about hunting and tell a few lies. You
can go to Scott's and do that. I don't mean just tell a few lies, but you can go to Scott's. I know that.
Yeah, so, we don't lie.
Yeah. Well, so if the deer is tested positive, but that takes a long time. How do you hang your deer at least 5 days? So tell us about the process. Has the processing changed from your point of view for you guys that are in the business?
Not at all. We've been doing the same thing since we opened.
Uh-huh.
We're going to hang your deer, and that number is going to follow your number is going to be the deer that you brought in. So that's one of the good things. In our situation, we didn't have to change. I can see in the near future a lot of processors are going to have to change their way of doing things, or they're not going to be able to do what they're doing, because pooling meat, that's got to be out.
That's got to be out, doesn't it? Yeah, I mean, you're going to get your deer when you go to your place, right?
That's right. And so you're reassured that if you do get a positive, that you can do what you want to with it, of course, but you'll know, or if you get a negative, you know that it's negative.
Well,
it was nobody's meat mixed with yours.
It's yours. So tell us, how has it been? This all came out a couple of weeks ago. Has it had any let's see, cut back on people bringing deer in? What's it been like for you?
You know, at first it's like anything. The news just scares people to death.
Yes, right.
So,
yeah.
You know, the initial shock of it, and I think the housewives hearing it, that's going to slow it down anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will have to say that the backlash of it are the true hunters. I'm seeing they're going out and harvesting animals, and they're not afraid of it.
Well, that's what me and Dave and Gene Smith over there has talked about, that hey, let's just don't quit this thing.
Right.
This is not the end of the world. Dave has said it's been 26 states now, and we haven't heard anything from the deer season being closed for any of these states. They're still killing deer, and in fact, they're killing deer in Colorado, where it all started.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm working with them on some things. I don't know if I didn't hear what Chuck had to say earlier, but I've actually been on the last 4 or 5 days, and I've got Dolores Grisham, our wonderful senator, involved here, and she's loving hearing from me every day. But some of the other states, they've implemented some plans to where if you bring your deer to a processor and it comes back positive, there's money in that state to reimburse that hunter for his processing.
Okay.
So, and I'm jumping up and down to get that done. And, you know, our government, they're doing the best they can, of course. But I don't know that it'll be this year, but it'll have to come around like that, or you're just going to lose you're going to lose the assurance to these hunters that, you know, they're not going to buy the license. So we got to do everything we can to work with the state, but in the same breath, they need to work with us.
All right. So, will you be open throughout what they're calling the new season? Does that extend?
We are.
I know you want to go fishing. I know you want to go fishing. So,
yeah, you know, it was day by day at first. We're going to be here because we've got deer to cut anyway. So,
yeah.
You know, we were planning on being open till the 14th, which wouldn't have got us out of here until the end of the month anyway, realistically. So,
right.
You know, at least the drop off, that tail end of this month may not be full-time hours, but the drop cooler will be open. But, you know, it just depends on how many are dropped off. We may be here 7 days a week. Who knows, you know? Well,
the example is that they want you to kill deer, and they got to be processed unless you are one of those people that process your own.
Yeah.
What? And you want to say something?
Well, I just like a big problem or a problem I see for a processor like Scott, you know, because he processes a deer, and he's got leftover, more or less, you know, the carcass and the bones and everything else.
Yeah.
Which, in years past, they've had a market for that, you know.
Yeah, Scott knows all about this.
For this. Okay. Well, what gets him, what I see getting him, because of the length of time coming back to tell you if that deer had it.
Yeah.
Then I don't see Scott separating all these carcasses out there so they don't come in contact. But you know, it's like him having a pile of 300 deer bones out there, 300, and not knowing, and he throws one in there. And he's got to get rid of 301.
Right.
Destroy
there's no market for any byproduct anymore.
No.
Well, you said there's no market for the tanning now, right? I mean,
the hides are gone.
The hides are.
This year, and I've encouraged others. There people are still trying to save these things and get $1 for them. And my deal is, man, this is like cotton. Throw them away, and then the next 2 years they'll be a commodity again. They'll be worth something.
Yes. Yeah.
So if they find out you'll sell them to them for $1, you're never going to get more than $2 for them. You know?
Never. No.
But you know, a lot of these guys are knuckleheads. You know,
knuckleheads. That's what Scott doesn't mind saying what he believes, but I know this because as a processor, and I know you guys stay in touch with each other. So what are you hearing from your fellow processors?
I tell you what, it's been odd. They call me a lot. I don't reach out to many of them, but they call me early, and then I don't. They're not liking it too well, especially the ones, the Shelby County guys. They can't get everything's got to be deboned to bring it to them. So
that's right. Yeah,
it's made it a nuisance for all of us. It's just in TWRA they're doing the best job they can, I'm suppose. So we're going to support them and do whatever, but it's a learning curve for them too. So
that's right. Yeah,
everybody's got to work together on it, and it is what it is.
And it is a learning. And again, we're talking to Scott Stengel of the Stengel Brothers Deer Processing, where I take my deer on Highway 64 out there. Well, how's the season? And we got a couple of minutes here. From your point of view, is this a down season?
It was slow. It was slow even before the announcement of CWD.
Rain.
The process.
Yeah.
Well, you can blame it on whatever, but they just weren't seeing the deer. The reports were the deer weren't seeing them like usual.
Yes. Yeah.
I've got some different ideas about that, but who knows what it is.
We'll save that to the next show because I'm sure we'll be having you back on. Hey, Scott, thank you. I hope to see you later today. But even if I don't, I'll come by and see you anyway. So we'll be at the McCrory International Farm Festival in Whiteville.
Keep James in line.
Yeah, that's impossible. Okay, thank you, buddy. We'll hope to see you today. All right.
All right, y'all have a good day.
All right, Scott Stengel.
At least you're not going to get cold today.
No, it's supposed to be better than it has been. So anyway, all right, let's get out of here. Be right back on another segment. Shelby McCall taking us out of here. We're switching gears.
Quack, 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 quack.
Come on, Gene. How about that?
Quack, 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 quack. The female does all the yakking.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
The males don't talk. All right, we'll be right back.
All right.
Yeah.